The perfect morning. The morning sun painted golden streaks across the bridal suite as Elena Martinez stood before the full-length mirror. Her wedding dress was perfect. White silk cascaded down her body like a waterfall, and delicate lace covered her shoulders. She had dreamed of this moment since she was a little girl. Today, she would marry Marcus Wellington, the man she had loved for 3 years. "You look absolutely stunning," her mother said, tears filling her eyes. She adjusted Elena's veil with trembling hands. "Marcus is the luckiest man alive." Elena smiled, but something felt different today. A small voice in her head whispered warnings she couldn't quite understand. She pushed the feeling away. This was just wedding day nerves. Everyone felt this way, didn't they? Her best friend Sophia burst into the room, holding a bouquet of white roses. "The guests are arriving." "Oh my God, Elena, you look like a princess." Sophia's smile was bright, perhaps too bright. But Elena had known Sophia since college. They had been inseparable for 6 years. "Thank you for everything, Sophia. I couldn't have planned this wedding without you," Elena said warmly. Sophia hugged her tight. "That's what best friends are for. Now, I need to check on something downstairs. I'll be right back." As Sophia left, Elena's mother excused herself to greet the arriving guests. Elena was alone with her thoughts. She picked up her phone and saw a message from Marcus. "Can't wait to see you at the altar. I love you." Her heart should have soared. Instead, that strange feeling returned. She decided to splash some water on her face to calm her nerves. The discovery. Elena stepped out of the bridal suite, heading toward the small bathroom down the hallway. The venue was a beautiful old mansion with many rooms and long corridors. As she walked, she heard voices coming from a room with a slightly open door. She recognized those voices immediately. "Marcus and Sophia. Are you sure about this?" Sophia's voice was anxious. "What if she finds out?" Elena froze. Her hand gripped the wall for support. What were they talking about? "She won't find out," Marcus replied, his tone cold and calculating. "Elena is too trusting, too naive. She believes everything I tell her." Elena's heart began to pound. This couldn't be what it sounded like. There had to be an explanation. "But Marcus, we've been lying to her for months," Sophia continued. "I feel guilty sometimes. She's my best friend." Marcus laughed. It was a cruel sound Elena had never heard from him before. "Your best friend? Please. You've been helping me steal her architectural designs for 6 months. A little late for guilt, don't you think?" The world tilted. Elena reached for the doorframe, her legs suddenly weak. Her designs? The innovative, sustainable building concepts she had poured her heart into? The ones she had shared with Marcus, trusting him completely? "Once we're married, everything she owns becomes community property," Marcus continued. "Her designs, her trust fund from her grandfather, everything. I'll have legal access to it all. Then we can finally be together openly, and I'll launch those designs under my company's name. We'll be rich, Sophia." "And what about Elena?" Sophia asked. "What about her?" Marcus's voice was ice. "She'll be my wife on paper. I'll keep her happy with a nice house and pretty things. She'll never know I married her for her money and her brilliant mind. Women like Elena are easy to control. Give them romance and attention, and they'll give you everything." Elena couldn't breathe. The beautiful wedding dress suddenly felt like chains. 3 years. 3 years of her life given to a man who saw her as nothing more than a bank account and a source of stolen ideas. The betrayal unveiled. "Do you love me, Marcus?" Sophia's voice turned soft, vulnerable. There was a pause. "Of course I do, baby. You're the only woman I've ever truly wanted. Elena is just business. Once everything is settled, maybe in a year or 2, I'll divorce her. We'll take half of everything, and then you and I can finally be together properly." Sophia giggled. "I can't wait." She actually thought we were best friends. She told me everything about her designs, her ideas, her bank accounts. She even made me a signatory on some of her business accounts to help with wedding planning. "She's so stupid." "Beautifully stupid," Marcus agreed. "Now come here. We have 20 minutes before the ceremony." Elena heard movement, heard sounds that made her stomach turn. Her fiancé and her best friend. The 2 people she trusted most in the world. They had betrayed her in every possible way. Rage erupted inside her like a volcano. She wanted to burst through that door and confront them. She wanted to scream, to destroy everything in sight. But something stopped her. A cold, calculating voice in her mind that sounded nothing like the Elena she knew. If she confronted them now, they would make excuses. They would lie. Marcus would manipulate her emotions like he had been doing for 3 years. And she might be foolish enough to believe him because she desperately wanted to believe him. No, she needed proof. She needed a plan. With shaking hands, Elena pulled out her phone and pressed record. She held it near the door's opening. "Tell me again how we'll manage the design theft," Sophia said. "I want to make sure we have everything perfect." "Simple," Marcus replied. "Elena's latest project, the Eco Tower design, is worth millions. I've already arranged meetings with 3 major developers under my company name. They think I'm the genius behind it. Once we're married, I'll have legal claim to her work. We'll patent everything under Wellington Enterprises. She'll never be able to prove those designs were originally hers." "What if she fights back?" Sophia asked. "She won't. Elena is soft. She's emotional. She'll be heartbroken, but she won't fight. That's why she was the perfect target." Elena had heard enough. She stopped recording and stepped back from the door. Her entire body trembled with a mixture of pain and fury she had never experienced before. The man she loved had never loved her. Her best friend had never been her friend. Everything was a lie. The escape. Elena walked back to the bridal suite like a ghost. Her mother was there, adjusting her own dress. "Sweetheart, are you all right? You look pale." I need a moment alone, Mom. Please." Her mother looked concerned, but nodded. "The ceremony starts in 15 minutes. I'll give you some space." She kissed Elena's forehead and left. The moment the door closed, Elena's legs gave out. She collapsed onto the floor, her beautiful dress pooling around her. Silent tears streamed down her face. How had she been so blind? Were there signs she missed? Of course there were. Marcus always wanted to know about her work. Sophia always asked detailed questions about her finances. She had handed them everything on a silver platter. A knock on the door startled her. "Elena? It's time." The wedding coordinator called out. Time. Time to marry the man who planned to destroy her life. Time to walk down an aisle toward a future of lies and manipulation. No. Something inside Elena broke, and something else was born. She stood up, wiped her tears, and looked at herself in the mirror. The woman staring back at her had changed. Her eyes held a hardness that wasn't there an hour ago. She picked up her phone, grabbed her purse, and looked around the room one last time. Then she did something that would shock everyone who thought they knew Elena Martinez. She ran. The stranger in the rain. Elena ran out of the bridal suite, down the back stairs, and out a side entrance. She heard voices calling her name behind her, but she didn't stop. The afternoon had turned gray, and rain began to fall. Within minutes, she was soaked, her wedding dress heavy and muddy at the hem. She had no plan. She just knew she couldn't stay there. Couldn't face Marcus's fake smile. Couldn't watch Sophia stand beside her as a bridesmaid, pretending to be happy for her. Elena found herself on a busy street, looking ridiculous in a wedding dress, makeup running down her face, completely lost. People stared. Some took pictures. She didn't care. "Are you running from something or towards something?" a deep voice asked. Elena turned. A man stood a few feet away, holding an umbrella. He was tall, dressed in an expensive dark suit, with sharp features and eyes that seemed to see too much. He looked to be in his early 30s, and there was something dangerous about him. Not threatening, but powerful. "What?" Elena managed to ask. Brides don't usually run through the rain unless they're running from a wedding or toward true love. "Which is it?" He stepped closer, extending the umbrella to cover her as well. "From," Elena said, her voice breaking. "Definitely from." The stranger studied her face. "Good. That means you still have the ability to save yourself. That's rare." "Who are you?" Elena asked. "Damien Cross." He offered his hand. Elena recognized the name immediately. Damien Cross was a billionaire investor, famous for his ruthless business tactics and mysterious personal life. He was known for destroying companies that crossed him and building empires from nothing. What was he doing here? "Elena Martinez," she replied, shaking his hand despite her confusion. His eyes flickered with recognition. "The architect. I've seen your work. You're brilliant." "You know my work?" Elena was surprised. "I know a lot of things," Damien said. His eyes held a strange intensity, including the fact that Marcus Wellington was supposed to marry you today. "I also know that Marcus is a fraud who steals ideas and ruins lives." Elena's eyes widened. How do you? Because he tried to destroy me once, Damien said, his voice turning cold. 5 years ago, Marcus stole a project from my company, took credit for my team's work, and cost me millions. I've been waiting for the right moment to return the favor. The proposal. Why are you telling me this? Elena asked, her mind racing. Damien smiled, but it didn't reach his eyes. Because sometimes the universe gives you exactly what you need when you need it. I've been planning my revenge against Marcus for years. And here you are, his runaway bride, clearly aware of his true nature. Tell me, Elena, did you discover what he really is? Elena hesitated, then nodded. He was using me. For my designs, my money, everything. My best friend was helping him. Sophia Chun, Damien said. I know. I've been investigating Marcus for months. I know about their affair, about his plans to steal your eco-tower design. I know everything. Then why didn't you warn me? Elena demanded, anger flashing through her pain. Would you have believed me? Damien asked gently. If a stranger told you the man you loved was betraying you, would you have believed it? Or would you have thought I was crazy? Or lying? Elena knew he was right. She wouldn't have believed him. She had to discover the truth herself. What do you want from me? Elena asked. I want to offer you something, Damien said. Revenge. Justice. A chance to take back everything he tried to steal from you and destroy him in the process. But I need your help to do it. Why would you help me? Elena was suspicious. Because our goals align, Damien replied. You want to make him pay for what he did to you. I want to make him pay for what he did to me. Together, we can accomplish what neither of us could do alone. You have insider knowledge. You know his plans, his weaknesses, his secrets. I have resources, connections, and experience in corporate warfare. Elena's mind whirled. An hour ago, she was about to marry the love of her life. Now she was standing in the rain with a dangerous billionaire who was offering her revenge. What exactly are you proposing? She asked carefully. Seeds of revenge. Damien gestured toward a black car parked nearby. Come with me. We'll talk somewhere private. You need to get out of that dress and think clearly. Then we'll discuss details. Every rational part of Elena's brain screamed warnings. She didn't know this man. This could be dangerous. But the louder voice, the one born from betrayal and pain, told her to trust him. Or at least to hear him out. All right, Elena said. They drove to a luxury hotel. Damien arranged a suite for Elena and had his assistant bring clothes in her size. As Elena changed into comfortable jeans and a sweater, she felt like she was shedding more than just a wedding dress. She was shedding the naive woman who trusted too easily. An hour later, she sat across from Damien in the suite's living room. He had poured her tea and waited patiently while she processed everything. Tell me your plan, Elena said finally. Damien leaned forward. Marcus is planning to launch your eco-tower design as his own, correct? He has meetings scheduled with developers. Yes. He mentioned 3 major developers. Elena's jaw tightened. Those developers are people I have relationships with, Damien said. I can make sure those meetings go very differently than Marcus expects. But first, we need to secure your intellectual property. Do you have original sketches, dated files, anything that proves you created those designs? Elena nodded. Everything is backed up on my personal cloud and on external drives at my apartment. I'm obsessive about documentation. Good. That's very good. Damien smiled, and this time it was genuine. Here's what I propose. You disappear for a while. Let Marcus think you're heartbroken and hiding. Meanwhile, you work with my legal team to patent everything under your name immediately. We'll also investigate his company finances. Men like Marcus are usually dirty in more ways than one. What about Sophia? Elena asked, surprised by how cold her own voice sounded. We'll handle her too. But Marcus is the priority. Once we destroy his reputation and his business, Sophia will fall on her own. Without Marcus's protection and money, her true nature will be exposed to everyone she knows. Elena took a deep breath. If I agree to this, what do you get out of it? Damien was quiet for a moment. I get to watch Marcus Wellington lose everything, just like he tried to make me lose everything. I get justice. And, he paused, I get the satisfaction of helping someone who deserves better than what she got today. There was something in his eyes, a flicker of old pain that Elena recognized. Damien Cross wasn't just after revenge. He was after healing too. There's one more thing, Damien added. This won't be easy. Revenge never is. It will take time, planning, and patience. You'll have to become someone harder than you are now. You'll have to play games, tell lies, and manipulate people. Can you do that? Elena thought about Marcus's laugh, about Sophia's betrayal, about 3 years of her life wasted on lies. Yes, she said firmly. I can do that. Damien extended his hand. Then we have a deal? Elena shook his hand. His grip was strong, confident. We have a deal. The transformation begins. Over the next few hours, Damien explained his plan in detail. Elena would stay hidden for a few days while his team worked on securing her patents and gathering evidence against Marcus. Damien had investigators, lawyers, and contacts in every industry. He was meticulous, thorough, and clearly very good at revenge. Marcus will try to find you, Damien warned. He'll call, text, maybe even show up at your apartment. You need to be strong. Don't respond. Don't give him any opportunity to manipulate you. I won't, Elena promised. And she meant it. As the evening grew late, Elena found herself actually planning instead of crying. She made lists with Damien, identifying Marcus's business partners, his weaknesses, and his upcoming projects. She explained the eco-tower design in detail, showing Damien exactly what made it revolutionary and valuable. You really are brilliant, Damien said, studying her sketches. This design could change sustainable architecture forever. Marcus is an even bigger fool than I thought for not recognizing your true worth. Elena felt a strange warmth at the compliment. When was the last time someone had valued her mind, her talent, without trying to steal from her? Thank you, she said quietly, for everything. I know you're doing this partly for your own reasons, but thank you for giving me a chance to fight back. Damien looked at her with an expression she couldn't quite read. Don't thank me yet. The real battle hasn't even started. But Elena, he waited until she met his eyes. I have a feeling you're going to surprise everyone, including yourself. The woman who ran through the rain in a wedding dress? She's not weak. She's a survivor. Don't ever forget that. As Elena prepared to sleep in the hotel that night, she looked at her phone. 57 missed calls from Marcus. 32 text messages. Voicemails begging her to call back, to let him explain, to give him a chance. She deleted them all. Tomorrow, Elena Martinez would begin building her revenge. And she would make sure that Marcus Wellington regretted the day he ever underestimated her. The broken-hearted bride was gone. In her place stood a woman with fire in her eyes and steel in her spine. The game was just beginning. Welcome to Twisted Heartstrings. If you're enjoying Elena's journey from heartbreak to empowerment, please like and subscribe. Part 2 is coming soon, where Elena's transformation continues and the revenge plot thickens. Will she stay strong? Will Damien's plan work? And what secrets are still waiting to be uncovered? Stay tuned. 62 Part 2, The Game of Shadows. 6 months later, the new Elena. The woman who walked into the grand ballroom of the Metropolitan Hotel bore little resemblance to the runaway bride from 6 months ago. Elena Martinez had transformed herself completely. Her once long, soft hair was now cut into a sleek, sharp bob that framed her face with confidence. She wore a stunning emerald dress that hugged her body perfectly, and her makeup was flawless, highlighting eyes that now sparkled with determination rather than tears. She was attending the annual Architecture and Development Gala, the biggest event in the industry. And she wasn't attending as Marcus Wellington's girlfriend or anyone's shadow. She was attending as Elena Martinez, CEO of Phoenix Designs, a new architectural firm that had burst onto the scene 3 months ago with innovative, sustainable building concepts that had everyone talking. You look incredible, Damien said, appearing beside her with 2 glasses of champagne. He looked devastatingly handsome in his black tuxedo, his dark hair perfectly styled, his presence commanding attention from everyone in the room. Over the past 6 months, Elena and Damien had worked together intensively. She had learned that beneath his cold, ruthless exterior was a man who had been deeply wounded by betrayal, just like her. His ex-fiancée had left him for his business partner years ago, taking company secrets with her. That betrayal had shaped him into the calculating man he was today. Thank you, Elena said, taking the champagne. Is he here yet? Marcus arrived 10 minutes ago, Damien replied, his eyes scanning the crowd. He's with Sophia. They're pretending to be just friends in public, but my sources say they moved in together 2 months ago. Elena felt a small twinge of pain, but it was nothing compared to the agony she'd felt on her wedding day. Time and purpose had healed her. Good. Let them enjoy their last few weeks of happiness. Are you ready for this? Damien asked, studying her face carefully. He had become protective of her over these months, always making sure she was emotionally prepared for each step of their plan. I've never been more ready for anything in my life, Elena said firmly. The first strike. Marcus Wellington stood near the bar, laughing with a group of developers. He looked the same, handsome, charming, confident. Sophia was beside him, wearing a red dress that was slightly too tight, trying too hard to look sophisticated. Elena remembered when she thought Sophia was naturally elegant. Now she saw the truth. Sophia was always trying to be something she wasn't. There she is, Sophia suddenly said, her voice carrying across the room. I can't believe she actually showed her face here after running out on her own wedding. Marcus turned, and his eyes locked with Elena's across the crowded ballroom. For a moment, genuine shock crossed his face. This wasn't the Elena he remembered. This woman looked powerful, untouchable, and completely unbothered by his presence. Elena smiled at him, a cold, calculated smile, and then deliberately turned her back to continue her conversation with Damien. Did you see his face? Damien murmured, amused. You've already won the first round. 20 minutes later, Elena was surrounded by developers and architects, all eager to talk about Phoenix designs. She had made sure to arrive with a portfolio of new work, legitimate, brilliant designs that proved she didn't need Marcus or anyone else. Damien's connections had opened doors, but her talent kept them up. Miss Martinez, a distinguished older man, approached. Robert Chun Development Corporation. I've been following your work with great interest. The sustainable housing project you proposed last month is exactly what we've been looking for. Thank you, Mr. Chun, Elena said graciously. I'd love to discuss it further. I actually had a meeting scheduled with Marcus Wellington about a similar project. Mr. Chun continued, his expression turning disapproving. But after reviewing both proposals, yours is clearly superior. More innovative, more cost-effective, and actually achievable. I'm embarrassed to say I almost went with his design before my team did a deeper analysis. Elena's heart raced with satisfaction. This was part of the plan. Damien had ensured that all of Marcus's potential clients receive copies of Elena's original designs with timestamps proving she had created them first. I'm glad you took the time to review all options thoroughly. Wellington's design was nearly identical to yours, Mr. Chen said, his voice turning cold. Suspiciously identical. My legal team is actually investigating whether he committed intellectual property theft. That would be unfortunate, Elena said carefully, though inside she was celebrating. I hope everything gets resolved fairly. Across the room, she could see Marcus's face turning red as another potential client walked away from him, shaking their head. The seeds of doubt had been planted. Soon, they would grow into full-blown scandals. The alliance deepens. Later that night, Elena and Damien sat in his penthouse overlooking the city. They had developed a routine over these months. After every major event or meeting, they would debrief, plan the next steps, and occasionally just talk about things unrelated to revenge. 3 more clients pulled out of meetings with Marcus today, Damien reported, reviewing his tablet. His company's stock has dropped 12% this month. People are starting to ask questions. Good, Elena said, sipping the wine Damien had poured. She had stopped drinking champagne. It reminded her too much of her almost wedding. There's something else, Damien said, his tone shifting. My investigators found something interesting in Marcus's company finances. He's been embezzling money from his own company, hiding it in offshore accounts. It looks like he's been preparing to disappear with a large sum of money. Elena sat up straight. How much money? About $15 million, Damien replied. Money that belongs to his investors and shareholders. If this becomes public, he won't just lose his reputation. He'll go to prison. Then we need to make it public, Elena said without hesitation. Damien looked at her carefully. Are you sure? Once we do this, there's no going back. Marcus's life will be completely destroyed. He tried to destroy mine, Elena said coldly. He would have succeeded if I hadn't overheard that conversation. He would have taken everything from me and never felt a moment of guilt. Yes, I'm sure. Damien nodded slowly. You've changed so much in 6 months. Sometimes I see glimpses of the softer woman you used to be, but mostly, you've become someone different. Is that a bad thing? Elena asked, suddenly uncertain. No, Damien said, his voice softer than usual. It's not bad. It's just, I hope you don't lose yourself completely in the pursuit of revenge. I hope you can still find happiness when this is all over. Elena was quiet for a moment. Can I ask you something personal? Of course. After you got your revenge on your ex-fiancé and your former partner, did it make you happy? Did it heal you? Damien was silent for a long time. It made me feel satisfied. It made me feel justified. But happy? No. Revenge doesn't bring happiness, Elena. It brings closure. Those are different things. Then why are you helping me? Elena asked. If it won't make either of us happy. Damien looked at her, and something shifted in his expression. Because watching you become strong, watching you take control of your life, watching you succeed on your own terms, that does make me happy. You're not just getting revenge, Elena. You're building something real. Phoenix Designs is thriving because you're talented, not because of any scheme. That matters. Elena felt her heart skip. Over these months, she had grown close to Damien. He understood her in ways no one else could. He had seen her at her lowest and helped her rise. But she had been so focused on revenge that she hadn't allowed herself to examine her feelings for him. Damien, she started, but her phone buzzed with an incoming call. Marcus's name flashed on the screen. The confrontation. He's been trying to call me for months, Elena said, staring at the phone. I've never answered. Do you want to answer now? Damien asked. Elena thought about it. Maybe it was time. Maybe she was strong enough now to hear his lies without breaking. Yes, I think I do, she answered, putting it on speaker so Damien could hear. Elena. Finally. Marcus's voice was desperate, panicked. I've been trying to reach you for months. Where have you been? What happened at the wedding? Hello, Marcus, Elena said, her voice perfectly calm. I've been busy building my career. You know, the career you tried to steal from me. There was a pause. What are you talking about? Elena, baby, I don't know what's gotten into you, but we need to talk. There's been some kind of misunderstanding. There's no misunderstanding, Elena interrupted. I know about you and Sophia. I know about your plan to steal my designs. I know about the offshore accounts. I know everything, Marcus. She could hear him breathing heavily. You don't understand. Let me explain. Explain what? Elena's voice turned sharp. Explain how you pretended to love me while planning to rob me. Explain how my best friend helped you. Explain how you're a thief and a liar. Elena, please, Marcus's voice cracked. I made mistakes, okay? But I did love you. I do love you. Sophia was a mistake. The designs, I was going to credit you, I swear. I just got caught up in trying to make my company succeed, and I made bad choices. But we can fix this. We can still be together. Elena laughed, and it was a cold, bitter sound. You think I would ever consider being with you again? You really are delusional. Here's what's going to happen, Marcus. Your clients are leaving you because they know you're a fraud. Your company is failing because you're a thief. And soon, very soon, everyone is going to know about the money you've been stealing. You're finished. You can't do this to me. Marcus's panic turned to anger. I'll fight you. I'll tell everyone you're lying. You'll do nothing, Elena said firmly. Because I have evidence of everything. Recordings, documents, financial records. If you try to fight me, I'll bury you. Your only option is to accept your defeat gracefully. You've changed, Marcus said, his voice full of venom. You used to be sweet, kind. Now you're just another cold, bitter woman. Is this about revenge? Is that what this is? No, Marcus, Elena said. This is about justice. Goodbye. She hung up, her hands shaking slightly despite her calm voice. Damien was watching her with an expression of pride mixed with concern. How do you feel? He asked. Powerful, Elena admitted. And a little bit sad. Not for him. For the time I wasted on him. That time wasn't wasted, Damien said, moving closer to her. It taught you to be stronger. It brought you here, to this moment, where you're taking control of your life. Elena looked up at him, and suddenly the air between them felt charged with unspoken feelings. Damien, His phone rang, interrupting the moment. He glanced at it and frowned. It's my investigator. I need to take this. As Damien spoke quietly on the phone, Elena walked to the window, looking out at the glittering city below. She had come so far in 6 months. She had rebuilt herself from the ruins of her broken heart. But somewhere along the way, she had started to develop feelings for Damien. Feelings that complicated everything. Sophia's downfall. The next morning, Elena woke up in her own apartment, a beautiful loft that Damien had helped her find. She had coffee and checked her phone to see dozens of messages from old friends and colleagues. Something had happened overnight. She opened her social media and saw it immediately. Sophia's life was unraveling in real time on the internet. Someone had leaked screenshots of text messages between Sophia and Marcus, detailing their affair and their plans to exploit Elena. Someone had also leaked information about Sophia's job. Apparently, she had been stealing from her employer for over a year, using company resources for personal gain. Elena knew exactly who that someone was. Damien had promised to handle Sophia, and he had delivered. Within hours, Sophia had lost her job. Her friends were posting angry messages, shocked by her betrayal of Elena. Companies she had worked with were investigating her for fraud. Her carefully constructed life was crumbling just like Marcus's. Elena should have felt triumphant. Instead, she felt strangely empty. Yes, Sophia deserved consequences for her actions. Yes, this was justice. But it didn't bring back the friendship they'd once had. It didn't erase the pain of betrayal. Her phone rang. It was Damien. "Did you see?" he asked. "I saw," Elena replied. "Did you do this?" "I released some information to the right people," Damien admitted. "I thought you'd want closure with Sophia too." "I do. I thought I'd feel better than this." There was a pause. "Elena, I need to tell you something. Can you meet me at my office in an hour?" "Of course. Is everything okay?" "Just meet me," Damien said, and hung up. Damien's secret. An hour later, Elena walked into Damien's private office at Cross Enterprises. It was a massive space with floor-to-ceiling windows, modern art on the walls, and a view that made her loft look tiny in comparison. Damien was standing by the window, his posture tense. He didn't turn around when she entered. "Damien." Elena approached carefully. "What's wrong?" "I need to tell you something," he said, his voice strained. "Something I should have told you months ago." Elena's heart sank. "What is it?" Damien finally turned to face her. His expression was conflicted, almost pained. 5 years ago, when Marcus stole that project from me, it wasn't just business. It was personal. He didn't just take company secrets. He took my fiancée, Claire. They planned it together, the way he planned to use you. "I know," Elena said gently. "You told me about Claire months ago. What I didn't tell you," Damien continued, "is that Claire didn't just leave me. She destroyed me financially, emotionally, and professionally. It took me 3 years to rebuild my life and my company. And during that time, I swore I would destroy Marcus Wellington if I ever got the chance. That's why you helped me," Elena said, understanding. "For your own revenge." "Yes," Damien admitted. "At first, that's exactly why I helped you. When I saw you running from that wedding, I saw an opportunity. A woman who knew Marcus's weaknesses, who had insider information, who could help me finally get my revenge. I used you, Elena, just like Marcus used you." The words hit Elena like a physical blow. She took a step back. You used me?" "At first," Damien said quickly. "But Elena, that changed. You have to believe me. These past 6 months, getting to know you, watching you grow stronger, helping you build Phoenix Designs, it stopped being about revenge. It became about you. It became about us."